not recording.
Oh.
There you go.
Good.
Okay. So, anyways, this lady calls me up at 3 in the morning, and she's really feeling down, and I'm feeling awful for her, you know. And I'm not, you know, gonna get into what she was saying, but it ended up where she said to me, she said, nobody, if they put it to a vote, nobody would vote that I stayed alive. Which is so sad. What are you gonna say to that, you know? It's like, oh wow, and I just prayed. You know, you pray in that moment. You know, you're just frantically praying to get the right words to say to somebody. So I said to her, well, I said, you know what? The only people that count right now are those who are in this conversation. And I said, well, I would definitely vote for you to stay alive. And she says, well, I wouldn't, and it's a tie. It's a tie, so... And there's nobody that's going to come and break the tie. And this little kitten that I had, she came right up to the phone and she went, meow! And I says to her, I said, well...
That's 3.
I said, the kitten just broke the tie. You're staying alive. And as far as I know, she's still alive today. I mean, she has still tried, but that's bipolar for you. I mean, bipolar is a really, really terrible mental disease. But that particular incident, she stayed alive, and I'll always remember that. And that was just a little kitten. So, I mean, and that was definitely a divine intervention there, because I was just praying for the right thing. And really, that was the absolute right thing, because she was laughing so hard that she just couldn't think about doing that anymore. You know, so it was really, really great. And like, I've seen kittens are so good for humor therapy, like I said, providing distraction, for, you know, that kind of a deal. And it's just crazy. They're so good. Even I remember one time I knew a lady who was going through a cancer scare. She thought she had stomach cancer, and she was waiting for the tests to come back. And this poor thing, she couldn't hardly move off the couch. And this little kitten, maybe, again, he was born in April, and this was December, so we're looking at what? Let's see, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Okay, so we're looking at about 8 months old, so maybe not quite kitteny, maybe teenager kitten type, teenager cat, but definitely young anyways. And it got to the point where she was throwing paper for him, and he was running after the paper and bringing it back like a dog. It was just awesome. And she was able to get through that period of time, through the cancer scare, and it turned out she didn't have cancer, and thank the Lord for that. And she got whatever was happening with her, she got it worked out. But the cat was such a comfort to her at the time.
It's amazing.
You know? Yeah. So it was just so awesome. I mean, they're just such a comfort. I just love kittens so much. They're wonderful. So did the article say anything else?
Well, one thing it says that all newborn kittens have blue eyes,
Really?
which I never knew.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Wow.
It takes about 7 to 10 days for a kitten to open their eyes, according to this article.
Cool. I knew
Which,
that.
yeah, I never really... I had a kitten and, well, I just thought they were always open.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I knew that they didn't open their eyes yet, like right away after they were born, but I didn't realize it was 7 to 10 days. That's a long time. Oh my goodness. So when, does it say when their eyes actually change color? to what they're going to be?
It didn't, no. And I don't, at least not that I was aware of. Actually, no, it didn't say.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Wow. So if anybody actually knows the answers to some of these questions that we don't know, please do put the answers into the comments, because we'd love to hear from you in the comments section. That would be amazing. We would absolutely love to hear from you. So was there anything else?
They don't see well until about 10 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And most litters contain up from 2 to 5 kittens.
Yeah.
And another thing, well, I had a pretty good idea. That's how my kitten was. Kittens also, they sleep about 18 hours a day.
Really?
Yep.
That has not been my experience. Sleeping.
Well, I know
18
my
hours a day.
first kitty slept a lot when I first got her. I don't think it was quite 18 hours, but she did sleep a lot.
Wow. That's interesting. I wonder if there's a correlation, because I always had my kittens in bunches like that. Like I would take in a litter of kittens, or I would have a litter of kittens that were born. So I always kind of experienced kittens in bunches, and I'm wondering if, yeah, I guess they do. That makes sense, actually. It does make sense, because I guess they did sleep quite a bit. But when they're not sleeping, oh, watch out for your toilet paper and your shower curtain and
Yep.
many other things that you might possibly own.
Yeah, my first kitty was a toilet paper eater.
Oh my goodness.
I actually wouldn't leave it. I couldn't leave it hanging up on the roll, because otherwise she'd grab it and start chewing on it, and there'd be bits of toilet paper everywhere.
Yep. Well, mine would just like unroll it, and then they'd unroll like this big giant whack of it all over the floor, and then they'd be like wrestling with it and everything. So that was just, oh my gosh, that was wild. Yeah, they get into quite a lot. I'll tell you. You have to be, like I said, they have really good instincts and stuff, but you definitely want to have your kitten trained before you give it away as a therapy cat. That's what we would do, because, oh my golly, they're quite something. They're quite a handful, for sure. So did it say anything else interesting?
Kittens should be about 12 weeks old before being adopted into a new home. Well, my first kitty, I got her at 6 weeks, so she was just a itty bitty little thing.
Yeah, our first performer cat, the little girl I told you about that yowled and prevented the suicide. I got her at 6 weeks, and it was such a pressure. Basically the people didn't want her anymore, and they wanted to get rid of her. And the funny part was that somebody actually came and got the rest of the litter, and she actually hid from the people, and nobody could find her for a couple of days in the house. And then they found her, and I came actually over to their house to actually bring a baby present for one of the girls had a baby, and I actually ended up taking this little kitten home with me, and it was really cool, but it was a lot of pressure, because at 6 weeks they don't need to be bottle fed at all. But one of the things that happens, like, I didn't want to put her down on the floor because she was so tiny, right? Like, I just didn't. I just held her all the time, and I put her on my shoulder, and I feed her. I feed her, like, holding her on my shoulder with a food bowl in my other hand, and feed her, because I didn't want, like, I had a dog at the time, and I had another really giant cat, and so I didn't really want I didn't really want anything like that, you know, any steppage happening and any fatal injuries to happen to the kitten. So, but we ended up bonding really, really well, and I think she was the first kitten that I ever. No, she wasn't the first kitten that I ever recorded purring, but she was the first one that I was actually really successful with. I remember I had a giant karaoke machine at the time, because we're talking, oh gosh, 10, 11 years ago now, 12 years ago, and we had this giant karaoke machine. So basically the microphone on the karaoke machine that I was using to record her purrs was actually way bigger than her head even. You know?
Wow.
So, and she just was really patient, and she would just purr into it, and it was really neat. I wish I had some of those recordings. I don't, but I wish I did, because those were some of the very first performer recordings that I ever made. So, was there anything else interesting in the article?
Let's see. A kitten's whiskers are as long as their body is wide.
Really?
I know my first kitty, Buffy, she was so little, her tail grew way before she did.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
she had a long tail, so it was kind of like having this little fur ball with a tail.
Oh,
She was
wow.
just such a wee little thing, but the tail grew so long.
Ouch. Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
So, yeah, it's like having a fur ball with a tail.
Yeah, I didn't know that about the whiskers. Wow. That's really interesting. See, that's the thing. I've been a handler for, like 15 years, and there are still things I don't know about cats, because they're such fascinating creatures. There's still things that even I don't know, so I'm learning too. You know, it's funny, because when you said that they don't see properly for up until they're 10 weeks old, and that's why you shouldn't ever be super, super rough with a kitten. I know a lot of people, and I made that mistake too. I let children play with my kittens when they were really, really young, because it kept the kids out of trouble and kept them safe and off the streets, and I thought I was doing a good thing, and in that sense I was, but they were really playing with the kittens a lot, and they would swing them and stuff, and like obviously that's a bad idea anyways, but it must be really, really scary for, when a kitten that young is being played rough with. Must be really scary for them if they can't really see properly.
Yeah.
For sure. So,
I actually never knew that kittens couldn't see well, because with my little kitty, she seemed to see okay. She found her litter box. She was able to find her food, and she climbed on everything under the sun.
Yeah. I believe it. Well, a lot of they sense things through their whiskers, I think. Like, they do a lot of, like how atmospheric, like how something feels in the atmosphere. So, like, they would know, like, if the wind was brushing into their whiskers, and then all of a sudden there's a wall there or a shelf or something like that, and then it would be blocking the wind from their whiskers, and then they would know it was there. So that's kind of my theory anyways. But yeah, you should read the book by Gwen Cooper, Homer's Odyssey, something about life with an eyeless wonder cat or something like that. I should look up the title actually and actually throw it in one of the descriptions here. I should do that, or if somebody wants, they can ask me in the comments and I'll throw it in there. But it's beautiful. It's a book all about how this lady adopted this cat who had to have both of his eyes removed when he was found, when he was extremely young. He had an eye infection that wasn't treated, and he was abandoned, and so he was found and rescued, and he had to go to the hospital and get both of his eyes removed. But nobody wanted to take him and give him a home, but Gwen Cooper did. She took him and gave him a home, but what she said was, you know, he was absolutely fearless. Like, I don't think, she said that she didn't think that he even realized that he was blind even. You know, like he just was like, oh, well, you know, and he would like just jump, you know, and he would jump from one shelf all the way across the room, like to the other shelf.
Wow.
You know, and that kind of thing, and he just didn't care. He was like, whatever, you can't tell me I can't do it, you know? And honestly, I wish that a lot of blind humans were like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people tell us we can't do it and we believe them. But guess what? I'm making a TV show right now. So, whatever.
Yep.
So, was there anything else interesting?
They have 26 teeth.
26 which?
Teeth.
Teeth. Oh, okay. Wow. That's really interesting because an adult human has 32 teeth. So, their teeth must be really, 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 really tiny.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. Because they, wow, no wonder they rip everything to shreds. Holy smokes. But of course they don't lose their teeth like adult children or like human children do they?
No.
So, was there anything else?
Kitten kneading is likely a throwback to the days of nursing with the mother cat.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that a good way to celebrate Cuddly Kitten Day is to either adopt a kitten from a shelter,
Absolutely.
or if you don't want to do that, volunteer at one.
Absolutely. Well, we could do a show about it and raise awareness. That's a good way too.
Yep. You know what? And actually, yeah, that's so true. That's what we're doing.
Exactly. Yeah, right on. And there's just so many, not as many as there used to be because there's lots of spay-neuter programs out there now, but it's still pretty bad. There's still a lot of kittens out there that need to be adopted and that need to find a home. And yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like when I was looking at different, you know, different videos to do and everything, and how many kittens. Like we could have done Cuddly Kitten Day for the next 6 months if we decided to do videos about kittens who got stuck in drain pipes, abandoned on playgrounds, you know, abandoned in trees or whatever, stuck places, and oh my goodness. And you know, it really teaches us a lot about society, and it's really interesting because I have heard somewhere, I'm not a greatly educated person, so I don't remember where I read this, but a society can be judged by how we value its weakest members. And there are so many people out there who, you know, would just ignore these kittens, and then there would be like one person that would come and that would rescue them. And it was just really interesting. So I'm just like thinking, okay, well, what is, you know, how we treat kittens, like what does it say about our society? You know? For sure. So, was there anything else that was of interest in the article?
Apparently a good way to celebrate Cuddly Kitten Day is also to do a kitty jigsaw puzzle.
Really?
And just simply spending the day cuddling with your kitty, which I already do anyway.
I wish I could. For sure.
Yep.
Kitty Bot is my closest that I have. But one thing is that, you know, getting therapy cats into the hands of those who need them, that's our motto. So, alrighty. So was there anything else interesting in there?
Actually, that's about. I think that's about it. There might have been a bit more, but what I did, because I thought it would just make it a little easy for me if I just took notes of some of the
Absolutely.
good stuff
Sure.
that I saw.
Awesome. Well, you know,
I think there were the odd pictures here and there
Oh.
in the articles and different things
fair
like
enough.
that, but yeah, I just took down some really good stuff
you did
worth
good notes.
mentioning.
Yeah, and I mean, you provided us with an amazing interview. I am really amazed. I mean, we have had, oh my lord, I bet you've been talking to us about this for half an hour.
20 minutes.
20 minutes on this one, but then 13 on the last one.
Yep.
So, I mean, this has been great, Jackie. I'm so glad that you decided to come on the show today.
Awesome, yeah.
So I am, the soundscape is about to run out, so I am going to sign off on this video. And we are going to have in the next videos, we are going to have an episode of Too Cute from Animal Planet, because you guys have heard us talk a lot, so we're going to have a full episode of Too Cute. And hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And when we come back from the episode of Too Cute, we are going to be on, hopefully, with our very own Thea Ramsey, who has written a book that basically, completely illustrates how much love there actually is in a feline. So I am definitely going to be excited to talk to her. But thank you again so much, Jackie, for your input and for doing all that research for us. And I'm sure that people will be very appreciative of the facts that you've shared with us. I know the one thing about kneading, I do want to clarify something about kneading. It is a throwback to the days when they are nursing, but it's a way that they show affection to you, because they are associating the feelings that they have around you, they're associating with the feelings that they had around their mother. So they're basically, when they're kneading you, even though it's super, super annoying, they're kneading you, and they are actually making it so that they're trying to tell you that they love you and that you make them feel content and that they trust you. And a lot of people they misunderstand that, and they, when the cat starts making bread on their belly or whatever, and they bat them off, or they yell at them, and that, because it hurts, right? The little claws, they just hurt so much, and unfortunately they are misinterpreting the cat's behavior, so that's kind of something that people really need to understand about the cat. When they're doing that, they're not trying to hurt you. They are trying to tell you that they love you. They just don't realize how sharp their claws are. But there was something else I wanted to say too. Oh yes, I have a really, really funny story. This is a really funny story. I used to know this this fellow that used to be friends with a friend of mine, and he used to come over and visit my friend, and I'd be there and stuff, and he just loved her cats, and he would just soak it up. He just loved all the cat love. But he was very gruff old man, and he would pretend like he wasn't really having it. He would pretend like he didn't like cats that much, but you could tell that he really did. And I remember one time, he said this, he says, "I am going to give you a wise piece of advice," he says. "I have been through the war," he says. "I have run from the Nazis," he says. I have been in a concentration camp, he says. I have moved to a whole new country and I have learned a whole different way of life, he says. But one of the most important things I have ever learned, and I will share it with you now. And he pauses, and then he says, never sleep naked with a kitten. So that was that evoked that memory of him saying that, and that was just, yeah. He I think he did love kittens a lot more than he thought he did. So yeah. Alrighty then. So we really are going to sign off unless I remember something else to say. I love this. I love being able to make long videos. This is great. This is amazing. But thank you again so much, Jackie, for your input and for your research and for taking so much time with us and for waiting. Oh my good Lord, thank you so much for waiting so patiently while we got all of our ducks in a row here with this technology tonight.
Oh, yeah, well, you're welcome. Yeah, I was wondering if I'd be staying up all night, but...
So were we, actually. So
gotta love technology.
Yes, technology is a pain. But if people buy ad time from us on our show, then guess what? We can buy better technology.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right. And it's only $1 a minute per 100 subscribers. So right now, it's $1 a minute, guys. And you're supporting a great program like this. Very educational program. And, you know, you're supporting mental health. You're supporting people having good quality of life. You can know that you've done something special. So I would definitely, if you're looking for a place to advertise your business, I would definitely consider the Performers Tubecast. So please, please do. So.